Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we will build a video calling app in Flutter using ZegoCloud. ZegoCloud is a service provider that provides APIs for voice, video, and chat. You can leverage these APIs to build powerful interaction and social apps. They offer different products that include video call, voice call, live streaming, NF chat, and much more. You can take advantage of these products and build powerful mobile apps. When it comes to development, they provide an easy to understand documentation that you can take advantage of and implement these features into your app. They also provide UI kits that offers a low code experience, and you can implement these easy UI kits directly into your app to make your development journey quick and fast. You can also download their SDK, watch their tutorials, and get tech support. Now we will be utilizing UI kits to build video calling app. So for that, let's move to the registration on ZegoCloud. Here we create our account. We need to provide the first name. I will enter mine, then the last name. Here I need to select my region. You can select your own. So I will select Pakistan. Here I need to provide a work email. So let me provide one. You can provide your own email. After that, you can tap on this get code to receive a verification code on your email. So I will tap on get code. Here I need to accept it and then tap on this get code. I need to click on two elements that are identical. So you can see this element and this, they both are identical. Similarly, I need to find other identical as well in order to verify it, and I receive the code. So I have received a code in my email. You can find the verification code in the email sent by ZegoCloud. So you will just copy it and paste it here in the verification code. Here I need to set a password. So let's use the Google strong password. And I have ticked this. I have read and agreed to ZegoCloud as well. Now I can start my free trial. So I will tap on it to register. We are now registered on ZegoCloud and this is the dashboard, but here we need to provide some information. You can provide some company, and let's provide a dummy like test video call. You can provide some company website as well. You can also provide some job, other industry. You can select any industry like IT, technology, and service. Then you need to provide your phone number, so you can select your country from here to get the country code, and then you can enter your phone number. I will enter my phone number. And then I will tap on continue. Here you can see you have been awarded 10,000 minutes. When you register on ZegoCloud, you are given 10,000 minutes for free that you can utilize to test the functionality in your app before proceeding to the paid plan. So you got this 10,000 minutes. Also, you have received advanced support plan. These two are included in the free trial. So it is a very generous free trial that we can utilize to test the functionality, and then we move on to the paid version. Now I will go to the dashboard. This is our ZegoCloud dashboard. From here, you can either create your first project. On the right, you have the different notices and notifications. Down here, you have the bills overview. You can see we have 10,000 minutes and we have utilized 0 minutes till now, and it will expire on 15th of March 2025, which means we still have about a month to test the free features. You have the in-app chat, voice call, etc. You have these minutes. Then you have the balance overview. This is the balance in your ZegoCloud wallet. Then you have the advanced support program that you can take advantage of, and down here we have the different resources. You can get the guides, documents, or API reference to get started with ZegoCloud. You can explore demo applications and UI kits. Similarly, you can join the different platforms like Discord channel, GitHub to stay updated and learn about ZegoCloud. Here you have a chatbot that can answer your questions. He have we have the projects tab here. From here you can manage the different projects. Currently we don't have any. You can manage your projects from here. You have the analytics dashboard. Here you can find analytics about your consumption of services. You can monitor call quality here, then the user behavior, etc. You have different options here. So let's take a look at analytics demo. In the demo, you can find out data. We have separate records that are giving us insights about the call quality, monitoring of our consumption. Similarly, you can find user behavior. You can monitor it from here. These are the different things that we can get insights about using their analytics dashboard. Now coming back to the dashboard here, we have the usage statistics with us from which we can find out the usage in detail. Similarly, we have the billing center and other things. We can utilize all these tools to manage our Zego Cloud service that we utilize. Now let's move on to create our first project, as we will be building our video call app and we will be consuming Zero Cloud service. So I will tap on create your first project. Here we need to select a use case for app. Either we need a voice and video call, video conference, live streaming, live audio room, in-app chat, and we also have other use cases as well that we can utilize. Here we can select the voice and video call, as we will be building video call app. After selecting it, we will tap on this next button to move ahead. Here we need to provide a project name. We can give it any name. So let's give it a test name, that will be test video call. Here we have two ways to acquire Zego Cloud services. We can either use the UI kits that gives you pre-built UI components to directly add it into your app and start utilizing Zego Cloud services. So it gives you a low code experience, or you can use your SDK to implement all from yourself using their APIs. So UI kits is the quickest way to build video calling application using Zego Cloud. We will be using their pre-built UI components to add the features into our applications. So here we have the Flutter that is of our interest, and this is the component that we will use from Zego Cloud. It's ready made. We will just put it into our application to utilize the Zego Cloud services faster and quick. So we will start with the UI kit. So let's tap on this to get started with the UI kits. Zego Cloud is creating the project for us. Our project has been created, so let's start building our app. So we will be building our app, and we will be using Flutter for our application. You also have option for React Native, iOS, Android, native, web, etc. So I will go with Flutter. Now I can build my Flutter app. We need some additional configurations here. We can either select one-on-one call or a group call. So we will go with one-on-one call here. If you need functionality for group call that you can see here, you can select this one. So I will go with one-on-one call. We also have some add-ons here, which is call invitation, standard phase beautification, etc. You can also select these three in premium subscription as well. Here you have some notes, so do give some time to these notes, read it in order to better implement their features. After all is done, we can save and start to integrate. So I will tap on this button to get started integrating it in our application. And now our project configuration on Zego Cloud has been completed. From here we can go to the quick start guide that will guide you step by step on how to integrate Zego Cloud UI Kit for video calling in Flutter. and down below we have the app ID and app sign. These are the two values that we will use in our Flutter app to connect to our ZegoCloud project. So we will use them into our app. So I will tap on this quick start. This is the quick start guide for building video call using Flutter. So you can watch the video. Also, you can find the instructions below that you can use to integrate the SDK. Here, first of all, I need to add this package dependency in my Flutter app. So I will create my Flutter app first. Here I will use the command flutter create to create my test video call app. Now our app has been created. Now let's navigate to the folder. Here ZegoCloud, we have the test video call. I will open the project. Let's go to the main here. From here we will start the step-by-step guide from ZegoCloud. So let's move to the guide again. From here I need to copy this line in order to install their Zego UIKit pre-built call package. So I will open my terminal, and here I need to just copy this command and press enter to install this package. The package has been installed now. Now in the next step we need to import this package into our application. That we will do later, but before that I would like to do the configuration on Android and iOS platforms. These are platform specific configuration that you need to do in order to make it work on these different platforms. So let's do it for Android first. Here I will copy this line and I need to paste it in app level build.gradle. So I will move to the Android, then app directory and build.gradle. Here at the end I need to copy these lines. After that we will move to the second configuration, which is this change the min SDK version, and I need to put 21 here. For that I will be in the same build.gradle file, and here I have this min SDK version. I need to put 21 here. And if you come back, the third configuration is to set this SDK version to 33, which is compile SDK version. So I need to put 34 for my case. You may need 33 as instructions provided by ZegoCloud, but for me 34 works. So you can test it. If 33 doesn't work, so you can move it to 34. And now if I come down here, we need some other things to do as well. We need to edit the build.gradle file, and I need to copy and paste it in the build.gradle file that is here. So in my configuration I will put it right here. If you already have this build script section, then you can just copy this line into that build script if you already have this build script section in this file. So for me it works like this. And now I need to modify the Gradle wrapper, which is I need to put this line in the Android Gradle, then wrapper and Gradle wrapper.properties file. So if I come to this Gradle in Android, and then we have this Gradle wrapper.properties file, so you can put this line here, but I don't need this line as I already have an updated version of Gradle. So I don't need to put this line. If you have the Gradle version below 7.4, then you can replace the line with the one provided by ZegoCloud. So I will leave it as it is. Then I need to modify permissions. So I will copy all these permissions and I need to paste it in Android manifest.xml. For that I will go to the app directory inside Android, then source, main, and then we have the Android manifest.xml. Here I need to put these permissions here. So now I will just add some indentation here to align it, and these are the permissions that have been added. With these permissions, one more thing we need to add here. It is for code obfuscation. Whenever someone tries to reverse engineer your code, so he shouldn't be able to see the ZegoCloud UIKit classes. So for that you need to create a file known as ProGuard rules. ProGuard helps you obfuscate your code so that if it is reverse engineered, so it doesn't make sense to that person. And where I need to put it, I need to put it in the app folder. So I will go to Android, then we have the app, and inside this app we need to create ProGuard rules file that we will use to store these things. So it is of extension.pro. So I will rename it again and I will use this pro. Now it's a ProGuard file. I will paste it. Sorry, not this thing. I need to paste this line here. And we are good to go from here. Now we also need to add this ProGuard file in the app build.gradle file as well. So I will copy it from here and I need to paste it in this build types. So I will go to the build types and then release in the app level build.gradle that we have here. We need to find these build types and we need to put it in the release. So I will come down here and I will paste it. And now we have the ProGuard setup. One correction to be made, it is ProGuard, and then we need to add this hyphen here. And I think we are good to go now. And it is as per the provided guidelines. So we are done with the configuration for Android. Now we also need to perform these configurations for iOS. So I'll move to the iOS section and here I need to modify the permissions first. Here we need to add these lines to the pod file that we have in iOS. So for that you can copy it from here and then we will go to iOS directory and this is the pod file. We need to add these lines here and I will paste it. I also need to add indentation here, so I will add some indentation and it is good to go now. We can also add these indentations here. So it is good to go now. If this line of code causes some issue, so you can avoid to add it and you can check if it works or not. But it really depends on the Flutter version that you use and the different dependencies for Flutter. So for that you have to play around with it. If this works for you, then it's good. If not, you can adjust it as per the errors thrown. So we add it here and then we need to add permissions as well. So we copy these lines and we need to add it in the info.plist file under runner directory. So here we have this runner directory and info plist. Here at the top we need to add these permissions. So I will add these lines and using these lines we will get permission from iOS to use the video calling feature. So I will close all these lines and we are done with the configurations for Android, iOS, etc. And now we are back to writing code. Our configuration has been done and now we can utilize the code provided by ZegoCloud to integrate UIKit into our Flutter app. So we move to the project. Here I will just remove this stateless widget that has been created by Flutter. I will create a stateless widget and I will give it the name like video calling app, and I need to just copy it from here and paste it here as well. So we have created our own widget. I will create a material app here and here I need to provide a home screen. So for that let's call it home page that we will create. So down below let's create another stateless widget with the name home page and it will be converted to stateful. Here I will be creating a scaffold, then I can set an app bar. So let's create an app bar here, remove the constant, and then we will give a title to the app bar that will be text in the form of video calling app. And we have the initial screen app bar setup, and now we also need to provide the body here that will be a column, and inside this column I need to give it some padding first. So I will wrap it in padding and it will be symmetric For the horizontal, we need to provide the margins. That will be 24, and we need to also provide children in the column. The children are going to be a text field where we will be entering our call ID. Call ID is same for two users. If two users are going to connect to the same call, they need to use the same call ID. So we will take the call ID from here, but here for text field we need a controller to be created. So here I will be creating a controller that will be text editing controller, and it will be the call ID. And let's instantiate this text editing controller. We need to dispose it as well whenever it's no longer used or the screen has been closed. So we will dispose this controller whenever we move to the next screen. And I need to pass this call ID here in controller. It will get us the text from the text field, and we can also provide hint text here. So we will use the decoration. It will be input decoration. We need to provide some hint text. Hint text will be showing call ID. Sorry, it's going to be a string, and that will be call ID. That's what will be shown as hint on the text field. And down below we will be creating a size box that will be having height of about 20 to provide spacing between this text field. And then we have the button for join call. So we will use the elevated button whenever this is tapped. So we will be adding text here. It will be join call. So we will be providing the call ID inside this text field, and then we will be using a button to join call using the ID. So whenever this join call button is tapped, we would like to move to a next screen that will be the call screen, but we will need to pass this call ID. So I will now create I need to create a screen here that will be call screen dot dart. That will be a stateless widget, and it will be call screen. It will be taking the call ID that will be an integer or a string. Let's keep it integer for now. We can change it. So it will be a required property that we will use. And then here we need to provide the widget here that has been given by ZegoCloud, which is this call page. So we can just copy this call page from here instead of creating our own. So let's copy it directly here. We have this ZegoCloud pre-built UIKit, so we will import it from the package. Here we need to provide the app ID app sign that we have from the project on ZegoCloud. Then we need to pass the user ID that is going to join the call, his username, and then the call ID that we will pass here in this screen. So we have this thing ready. Call ID will be passed from here, and we need this app ID and app sign. So we can take it from the project we created on ZegoCloud. So let's move to the project. Here I can copy my app ID and I can store it in some constants file, like constants. I can name it constants, and here I will be creating constant values. That will be app ID. I will store the value here, and then I will create another constant with the name app sign, and I will copy the value from there for app sign, and now I will paste it here. It will be in the form of a string. So we have taken the value from the project, and we will just provide it here. That will be app ID and app sign in. We also need to generate random IDs for different users. For instance, if I use the app from my real phone, so I should be assigned a different or unique user ID. And then if I join from the emulator, so the emulator user should also be assigned a unique ID. For that, I can take advantage of the math library. So it will be user ID, and we will take it from the math library, and we have the random function from math that we will use. We will use this next integer and 10,000 it will generate us an integer value that will be user ID, and it's going to randomly generate a value between 0 and 10,000. So to make sure that it is unique, so it will be user ID, and for the username we can just add the ID here, and it will be user ID username, and then we have the ID, or we can just remove this name and it's going to be ID. This ID is going to be string, so let's convert it to string. So we have the user ID that will be generated for differently for every user, that will be a random value. Then we have the username. We have added the app ID and app sign from the ZegoCloud project. We have added the call ID that we will pass from here whenever we go to this page, and this is the one-on-one video call configurations that we did in this Zego UIKit pre-built call, and it is the pre-built UI that we are using from the package. And now if we come back to the main screen, here in the home page we will be passing this call ID to that next screen whenever this join call is tapped. So we will use the navigator to navigate to the next screen for video call, and here we need to pass the material page route. The builder, it will return the call page that we just created, that we just took from the step-by-step instructions from ZegoCloud. Here I need to pass this call ID from the text field. So this is the controller, and this text give us the text from that text field. So we have created a screen that takes call ID. We need to set this main access environment to center. So this was our UI. We built a home page that contains a text field where we enter the call ID, and then we have a button. Whenever we tap on the button, we move to the call page and passing this call ID. This call page is the actual screen UI where we will be having the interaction on video call. So we are using the ZegoCloud UIKit pre-built call UI widget. This handles everything for us. We just need to pass these values. The call ID passed to the screen is passed into this widget. Also the app ID, app sign, we take these from ZegoCloud project, and then we pass a unique user ID for every user, then the username, and we set the configuration to one-on-one video call. So this is how our app will look like. So let's run our app to see how it looks like. So let's start our emulator. So I will tap this button, and from Android I need to start this emulator. Our emulator has been created. So now we need to run this app in the emulator. So I will press control function F5 to start my app in debug mode. And now our app has been built on Android emulator. You can see here we have the app bar, video calling app, then a text field. Here we will enter the call ID. After we enter the call ID, we can join the call using this call ID. And we are also passing the user ID by generating a random number, and that will be assigned to the user, and then the username according to this ID. These are the things we pass here, and it will create us a one-on-one video call. So we will also run the app in our real device, where we will be entering the same call ID that we enter here, and then we will join the call, and the user ID will be generated different for that device, because for every user it generates a random user ID. So the call ID will be same, while the username and user ID will be different. So here I need to enter call ID. Let's give it the value 1 2 3 4 5 6. This will be the call ID. So I will tap on join call. Here we need to give some permissions while using the app, and we have joined the call. You can see we have these buttons to end the call or do all that stuff. Also build our app on the real device. So I'll go back to my terminal here, and I need to create an other terminal. So I will tap on this plus, and I've generated another terminal. Now I will select my real device, and I will run the Flutter app on that device in order to test the call functionality. And now you can see that the app has been built on real Android device as well. Here I need to provide the same call ID that we provided on the Android emulator, because the call ID remains same for a call while the user IDs are different for every user. We generate the user ID using this function that gives us a random value for every user. So the user on Android emulator and the user on Android real device have different user IDs while the call ID remains same. So I will tap on join call to see how it looks like. You can see I have the main video. Let me mute my mic and also from the emulator so that my voice is not messy. You can turn it on real device when you implement the call functionality. Here you can see that on the main video you can see the emulator video. This is the front camera for emulator. As emulator doesn't have any front camera, so it just shows this blurry video. And at the top right we have our own camera that is recording or showing this video. Similarly, if we look at the emulator, here on the emulator we can either toggle this camera. So if I toggle this camera, so it will be moved to the back camera, and you can see on our real Android device screen you can now see the back camera of the emulator. So this is the camera that you use to take pictures on emulator. It is the back camera, while there's no front camera, so this blurry thing shows up. Similarly, you can mute or unmute the mic. So if I unmute my mic, you can hear my voice doubling. So I will mute it, and you will get a real experience when you use real devices to connect through call. Similarly, you can turn this speaker on and off. You can end the call. You can also toggle your camera, and similarly you can disable your video as well. So this is the ZegoCloud UIKit. They have provided this widget for you with which you can easily implement the video call functionality. You can play with it and you can handle all those cases here. You can also edit, delete these buttons. You can add your own as well, but that is something out of the scope of the video, but that's how it works. You can handle everything on the emulator side as well. You can end the call, you can do all that stuff. On the emulator you see a similar look, and on the emulator you can't see the video from the real device because it's an emulator, it's not a real device. So due to its limitation, you can see only the black screen. So it is not showing its own camera or video. Also, it's not showing the real device video that is shown on the real device on top right. So that's because it's an emulator, but on real devices it will work pretty fine. And I think it's enough, and you can easily see how you can easily implement video calling functionality in your app using ZegoCloud. So that was it for today's video, but you can explore the other products from ZegoCloud as well that include voice calling, live streaming in app chat, etc. You can implement these products. They provide an easy to implement UI kit, just like we implemented video calling using UI kit. Also, they provide their documentation and SDK that you can utilize to implement it in your own way. So you can utilize all those features to make your development quick and faster. That was it for today's video, guys. See you in the next video. Goodbye.